The restaurant breathes sophistication through dim amber lighting that dances across mahogany tables. Soft jazz saxophone weaves through the gentle symphony of cutlery against porcelain, muted conversations, and the occasional clink of wine glasses. Steam rises from plates of carefully plated meals, while servers glide between tables with practiced elegance. At a corner table, partially shrouded in shadow, sits Marcus Hayes, 35, a black man whose presence commands quiet dignity despite his solitude. His dark suit, though well-pressed, carries the subtle wear of a man who maintains appearances on a careful budget. He cuts his braised short ribs with methodical precision, each bite measured and deliberate. Marcus pauses, fork midway to his mouth, and surveys the dining room. Couples lean into intimate conversations. Business associates shake hands over dessert. Families celebrate milestones with champagne toasts. He returns to his meal, the weight of solitude pressing against his shoulders like an old, familiar coat. The restaurant's atmosphere shifts imperceptibly. Conversations hush. Servers straighten their posture. Even the jazz seems to soften in deference. Victoria Sterling, 38, enters like a force of nature barely contained in human form. Her midnight blue dress costs more than most people's monthly salary, and she wears her wealth not as ornament but as armor. Every step across the marble floor announces power. Her auburn hair catches the light as she moves with the confidence of someone who has never doubted her place in any room. Marcus glances up, recognizing the shift in energy before he sees her. Their eyes meet across the restaurant, his curious, hers calculating. She changes course, moving directly toward his table with purposeful strides. Without invitation, without hesitation, she slides into the chair across from him. The movement is fluid, natural, as if she's been expected all along. Victoria leans forward, her voice a whisper that somehow carries the authority of a boardroom command. "Pretend I'm your wife." Marcus freezes, his fork suspended in air. His mind races. Confusion collides with suspicion. Curiosity battles caution. He searches her face for any hint of jest or madness, finding instead steel-cold determination. "I'm sorry, what?" His voice is steady despite the chaos erupting in his thoughts. Victoria's smile is practiced perfection as she reaches across the table, her fingers brushing his free hand. To any observer, it appears tender, familiar. Just play along. Please. The dining room has returned to its previous hum, but Marcus feels exposed under the ambient lighting. Several diners have noticed a beautiful woman joining the solitary man, some nodding approvingly at what appears to be a romantic reunion. "Ma'am, I think you have me confused with someone else." Marcus attempts to withdraw his hand, but her grip tightens subtly. Marcus Hayes, 35, lives in the Brookfield Apartments on 7th Street. "You work at Sterling & Associates. Well, you did until 6 months ago." Her smile never wavers, but her eyes sharpen like cut glass. "Should I continue?" A chill runs down Marcus's spine. The casual recitation of his personal details feels like a violation, yet her tone remains conversationally sweet. He forces himself to maintain eye contact, refusing to show the fear threading through his chest. "How do you?" "It doesn't matter how." Victoria's voice drops to a whisper that somehow feels more dangerous than shouting. "What matters is this. If you don't play along right now, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Trust me on that." The threat hangs between them like a blade. Marcus studies her face, searching for bluff, finding only unwavering certainty. Around them, the restaurant continues its elegant dance. Couples sharing dessert, business deals closing over cognac, life proceeding normally while his world tilts off its axis. He makes a choice. Marcus covers her hand with his other palm, creating the tableau of intimacy she's orchestrated. "How long have you been waiting, darling?" Victoria's smile transforms, becoming genuinely warm for the first time. "Not long. I ordered your favorite wine." She signals the sommelier, who approaches with a bottle of Bordeaux that costs more than Marcus's monthly rent. As the wine is poured with ceremonial precision, Marcus marvels at the elaborate performance. To everyone watching, they are simply an affluent couple enjoying an evening out. The reality, two strangers locked in a dangerous game, remains hidden beneath the surface. "You're very good at this," Marcus murmurs, raising his glass in a mock toast. "I have to be." Victoria's eyes scan the restaurant with predatory awareness. "My life depends on it." The weight of her words settles over the table. This isn't a prank or a case of mistaken identity. This woman, whoever she is, has involved him in something that carries real consequences. The braised short ribs grow cold on his plate as appetite abandons him entirely. "What's your name?" he asks. For night, I'm Mrs. Hayes. Her smile is sharp enough to cut, and you're going to help me stay alive. This is just the beginning of a wild story that will challenge everything you think you know about trust, survival, and unexpected love. Creating content like this takes hours of research, writing, and editing. And honestly, only those who don't believe in supporting quality storytelling would walk away without subscribing. It's free, and it helps creators like us continue bringing you these immersive experiences. If someone whispered this to you out of nowhere at a restaurant, would you play along or walk away? Let us know in the comments. Marcus takes a careful sip of wine, using the moment to study the woman across from him. Victoria, or Mrs. Hayes, as she's insisted, maintains perfect posture, her hand steady despite the underlying tension radiating from her like heat waves. You know my name, my address where I used to work. Marcus sets down his glass with deliberate control. I don't even know what to call you. Victoria Sterling. The name drops between them like a stone into still water. Marcus's eyes widen in recognition. Sterling & Associates, the firm that laid him off 6 months ago, bears her name. The irony tastes bitter on his tongue, mixing with the expensive wine. You're the woman who destroyed your career? Yes. Victoria's acknowledgement is matter-of-fact, devoid of apology, though that wasn't personal. The admission hits Marcus like a physical blow. 6 months of unemployment, rejection letters, dwindling savings, and growing desperation suddenly have a face. The woman sitting across from him, playing the role of his loving wife, is the architect of his current struggles. Why? The question carries the weight of sleepless nights and unpaid bills. Victoria glances around the restaurant, ensuring their conversation remains private. The company needed to streamline. Your department was redundant. Redundant? Marcus repeats the word, like it tastes of ashes. 30 people lost their jobs, so your profit margins could improve. 47 people, actually. Victoria's correction is clinical, and yes, it was necessary. The casual callousness should anger him, but Marcus finds himself oddly fascinated. Here sits one of the most powerful women in the city, capable of destroying lives with signature, yet she's desperate enough to commandeer his dinner table and beg for his cooperation. You still haven't explained why you need me. Victoria's composure cracks slightly, revealing something vulnerable beneath the polished exterior. Because I'm fighting for my life, and I can't do it alone. She pauses, seeming to weigh her words carefully. 6 months ago, I made enemies. Powerful people who want to see me fall. They've been circling like vultures, waiting for any sign of weakness. And you think appearing married makes you look stronger? Stability breeds confidence. Confidence breeds investment. Investment keeps me alive. Victoria's explanation is pragmatic, stripped of emotion. Single women in my position are seen as volatile, unpredictable. Married women are seen as grounded, reliable. Marcus laughs, the sound sharp and bitter. So you chose the man whose life you destroyed to be your fake husband? I chose you because you're invisible. The words sting with their honesty. No criminal record, no social media presence, no connections to my world. You're the perfect blank slate. The description cuts deeper than intended insults ever could. Marcus has spent years trying to rebuild himself after his divorce, after career setbacks, after the slow erosion of dreams deferred. Being called invisible by the woman responsible for his latest downfall feels like salt in an open wound. What makes you think I'll help you? Victoria reaches into her purse and slides a business card across the table. The name embossed in gold reads, Renaissance Architecture Firm. Partner position available. Marcus's breath catches. Architecture, his abandoned dream. The career path he'd sacrificed for financial stability that never came. The card represents everything he'd given up. Everything he convinced himself was impossible. One of my subsidiary companies is expanding. They need someone with your background, your vision. Victoria's voice softens, becoming almost seductive. Full benefits, signing bonus. Creative control over residential projects. Everything you walked away from 15 years ago. The offer hangs between them like forbidden fruit. Marcus wants to dismiss it, to walk away from this woman and her dangerous games. But the card burns against his fingertips, representing not just a job, but a return to the man he dreamed of becoming. In exchange for what exactly? 3 months. Attend events with me, play the devoted husband, help me project stability while I eliminate my enemies. Victoria leans forward, her intensity palpable. After that, we quietly divorce, you keep the job, and we never see each other again. The proposition is simultaneously simple and terrifying. 3 months of lies to reclaim a lifetime of dreams. Marcus studies Victoria's face, searching for deception, finding only desperate determination. What kind of enemies are we talking about? Victoria's jaw tightens. The kind that prefer hostile takeovers to boardroom negotiations. The kind that see murder as just another business strategy. The casual mention of murder sends ice through Marcus's veins. This isn't corporate intrigue or financial maneuvering. This is survival. You're asking me to put my life at risk for a job offer. I'm asking you to help me save both our lives. Victoria's voice carries an edge of vulnerability she hasn't shown before. They won't stop with me, Marcus. Anyone close to me becomes a target. You're already involved just by sitting here. The restaurant around them continues its peaceful rhythm, oblivious to the life-altering negotiation taking place at table 12. Marcus feels a weight of choice pressing down on him. Continue his quiet, invisible existence, or step into a world where the stakes are literally life and death. He thinks of his empty apartment, the rejection letters piling up, the slow suffocation of dreams deferred. Then he looks at the business card, at the woman who destroyed his old life, offering to give him a new one. If I say yes, how do I know you won't betray me when this is over? Victoria's smile is sharp as a blade, because betraying you would be bad for business, and I'm very good at business. Marcus makes his choice. 3 months. He pockets the business card. But I want the job offer in writing, signed and notarized, before I agree to anything else. Victoria extends her hand across the table. Deal, husband. As their hands meet in a handshake that seals their dangerous bargain, Marcus can't shake the feeling that he's just signed his own death warrant. But for the first time in months, he also feels truly alive. The deal is struck, but both Marcus and Victoria are about to discover that some bargains come with prices they never imagined. The game has begun, and the stakes are higher than either of them realizes. Would you take this deal if it promised to change your life forever, even knowing it might destroy you in the process? Share your thoughts below. Glass and steel pierce the sky like a monument to corporate power. The building's reflective surface mirrors the city below, creating an illusion of transparency that masks the secrets within. Marcus stands at the entrance, adjusting his new tie. Italian silk, Victoria's selection. The transformation from unemployed architect to billionaire's husband required a complete wardrobe overhaul. Each piece carefully chosen projects success he doesn't yet feel. Victoria checks her reflection in the polished elevator doors, her movements precise and economical. She wears power like a second skin, but Marcus notices a tension in her shoulders, the way her fingers drum silently against her briefcase. Remember, we've been married for 2 years. We met at a charity gala for arts education. Victoria's voice is clinical, reviewing their fabricated history like a legal brief. You proposed in Paris. I said yes at the Eiffel Tower. Romantic, but tasteful. Marcus nods, though the lies feel heavy on his tongue. What about children? We're trying, but focusing on careers first. The answer comes too quickly, rehearsed. It explains why we're not living together yet, maintaining separate spaces until we find the perfect family home. The elevator chimes, announcing their arrival at the 42nd floor. Victoria's transformation is instantaneous. Vulnerability vanishes, replaced by the commanding presence that built an empire. Floor-to-ceiling windows offer a panoramic view of the city, while a mahogany table dominates the center of a room. Seated around it are Victoria's board of directors, their faces reflecting various degrees of skepticism and calculation. Richard Blackwood, 55, Victoria's chief financial officer, rises as they enter. His handshake with Marcus is firm but measuring, like a boxer testing an opponent's reach. So you're the mysterious husband we've heard whispers about. Blackwood's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Victoria's been quite secretive about her personal life. Victoria's hand finds Marcus's arm, the gesture appearing natural while applying subtle pressure, a reminder to play his part. I prefer to keep business and family separate. But given recent developments, I thought it was time you all met the man who's captured my heart. The room's atmosphere shifts. Every person at the table understands the subtext. Victoria is projecting stability in response to challenges they all know exist but won't acknowledge directly. Elena Vasquez, 42, head of international operations, leans forward with predatory interest. How romantic. What line of work are you in, Marcus? Architecture. I specialize in sustainable residential design. Marcus's answer is smooth, rehearsed during their preparation sessions. I'm actually starting a new position with Renaissance Architecture next week. The mention of Victoria's subsidiary company earns approving nods. Everything appears legitimate. Connections explained through marriage rather than manipulation. Blackwood, excellent. Victoria, shall we proceed with a quarterly review? As the meeting progresses, Marcus observes the dynamics at play. Blackwood challenges every decision with surgical precision. Elena asks pointed questions about overseas investments. The others watch and wait, measuring loyalties like commodities. During a presentation about Asian markets, Marcus notices something troubling. Victoria's responses are slightly delayed. Her usual razor-sharp instincts dulled by fatigue, she's working hard to conceal. The strain of maintaining facades, both personal and professional, is taking its toll. The office reflects its owner's personality. Minimalist elegance masking ruthless efficiency. Awards line the walls like trophies of conquest, while the desk bears only essential items. Computer, phone, and a single photo of Victoria receiving humanitarian award. Marcus studies a photograph while Victoria fields calls. Even in moments of recognition, her smile appears calculated, performed rather than felt. The Singapore deal is non-negotiable, Chun. Find another way or find another job. Victoria ends the call with characteristic finality. How did I do in there? Convincing, though Blackwood seems suspicious. Victoria's laugh is bitter. Richard's been suspicious since the day I hired him. It's what makes him valuable and dangerous. She moves to the window, gazing down at the city sprawling below. He's also the most likely candidate to be feeding information to our enemies. The casual mention of betrayal within her inner circle sends a chill through Marcus. You don't trust your own board? I trust their greed. As long as I make the money, they'll follow. But loyalty, that's a luxury I can't afford. Marcus joins her at the window, their reflection ghost-like in the glass. Then why are you fighting so hard to save something that's already hollow? The question strikes deeper than intended. Victoria's composed mask slips, revealing something raw and wounded beneath. Because it's mine. The words carry the weight of years spent clawing her way to the top. Every brick, every contract, every decision that built this empire. I earned it, and I won't let them take it from me. Paparazzi lurk behind velvet ropes as luxury cars discharge their wealthy passengers. The annual Sterling Foundation Gala represents Victoria's attempt to project normalcy while her world crumbles around her. Marcus emerges from their limousine, offering his hand to Victoria with practiced chivalry. Camera flashes explode like lightning, each burst capturing their performance for tomorrow's society pages. Victoria's smile is radiant, her body language suggesting complete contentment with her charming husband. Photographer, Mrs. Sterling, can you tell us about married life? Victoria pauses, her arm linked through Marcus's. It's wonderful. Marcus keeps me grounded, reminds me what's truly important. Marcus, she's a remarkable one. I'm just lucky she chose me. The exchange appears spontaneous, but was rehearsed during their car ride. Every gesture, every word designed to reinforce a narrative of domestic bliss. Crystal chandeliers cast rainbow prisms across the assembled elite. Political figures mingle with tech moguls, while charitable donations serve as currency for social advancement. Marcus feels like an anthropologist studying a foreign culture, fascinated and repulsed in equal measure. Victoria works the room with masterful precision, introducing Marcus as her beloved husband while conducting subtle business negotiations disguised as social conversation. He watches her transform for each interaction. Demure wife, ruthless executive, charitable philanthropist, never quite revealing her authentic self. During a moment between conversations, Marcus leans close. Do you ever get tired of performing? Victoria's smile never wavers, but her voice carries unexpected honesty. Every single day. Their intimate moment is interrupted by the arrival of Jonathan Cross, 50, a silver-haired man whose expensive suit can't disguise the predator beneath. His approach causes visible tension in Victoria's posture. Victoria, darling, you look absolutely radiant. Cross's voice drips with false charm as he air-kisses Victoria's cheeks. Marriage certainly agrees with you. Jonathan, I was expecting to see you here. Victoria's greeting is arctic despite her maintained smile. Cross extends his hand to Marcus. And you must be the lucky husband. Jonathan Cross, Cross Industries. The name triggers recognition. Cross Industries has been acquiring Victoria's smaller competitors with aggressive efficiency. His presence here feels like a chess piece moving into position. Marcus Hayes, I've heard interesting things about your business practices. Cross's laugh is sharp as broken glass. All legal, I assure you, though in today's market, sometimes aggressive tactics are necessary for survival. The threat hangs in the air like smoke. Marcus feels Victoria's tension radiating to their linked arms, her body coiled like a spring under pressure. Cross, I do hope you'll consider my proposal, Victoria. It would be unfortunate if you felt compelled to fight a battle you cannot win. Victoria, I've built my career on winning impossible battles, Jonathan. This won't be any different. Cross's smile turns predatory. We shall see. Enjoy your evening, both of you. Savor these moments of happiness. They can be so fleeting. As Cross melts back into the crowd, Marcus realizes they've just received a direct threat disguised as social pleasantries. The game Victoria described as rules he doesn't understand, but the stakes are becoming terrifyingly clear. Victoria, we need to leave. Now. City lights blur past the tinted windows as their driver navigates through traffic. Victoria stares out at the passing streets, her earlier composure completely abandoned. Cross made his move tonight. He's no longer hiding behind proxies and legal maneuvers. Victoria's voice is flat, analytical. He wants me to know he can reach me anywhere, anytime. Marcus processes the evening's events, the careful choreography of threat and counter-threat. What did he mean about a proposal? He wants to buy Sterling Enterprises, not a merger or partnership, a complete acquisition at a fraction of its value. Victoria's hands clench into fists. He's been systematically destroying my reputation, undermining my contracts, turning my allies against me. Tonight was his victory lap. The limousine pulls up to Marcus's apartment building. As he reaches for the door handle, Victoria's voice stops him. Marcus, there's something you need to know. Her vulnerability returns, cracking through her professional armor. My sister didn't die in an accident. The admission hangs between them like a live wire. Marcus feels the last pieces of their arrangement shifting, revealing depths he hadn't anticipated. What happened to her? She discovered something about Cross Industries, something that would have destroyed Jonathan's empire. Victoria's voice breaks slightly. 3 days later, her car went off a bridge during a thunderstorm. Brake failure, they said. Tragic accident. Understanding crashes over Marcus like a cold wave. This isn't just corporate warfare. It's personal vengeance masquerading as business strategy. How do you know Cross was responsible? Victoria meets his eyes in the dim light of the limousine. Because I'm about to uncover the same information that got Sarah killed. The game has evolved from deception to deadly serious, and Marcus is beginning to understand that he's not just pretending to be married, he's pretending to be brave. But with enemies closing in and secrets surfacing, how long can their performance last? Do you think Victoria truly trusts Marcus with this revelation, or is she just using him to feel less alone in her dangerous fight? Share your thoughts below. Sunlight filters through cheap blinds, illuminating the stark contrast between Marcus's modest living space and the luxury he's been performing. The apartment tells a story of dreams downsized, architectural books stacked beside unpaid bills, sketches of unrealized projects taped to walls marked by water stains. Marcus sits at his kitchen table, Victoria's revelation from the previous night replaying in his mind. The coffee grows cold in his hands as he processes the magnitude of what he's become involved in. His phone buzzes. A text from Victoria. Breakfast meeting. Pierre's Cafe on 5th. 8 a.m. Come alone. The small French bistro represents neutral territory, intimate enough for private conversation, public enough to discourage violence. Marcus arrives to find Victoria already seated in a corner booth, dark sunglasses hiding eyes that probably haven't seen sleep. Victoria, you look like you've been thinking. Marcus slides into the seat across from her, noting the tension lines around her mouth that makeup can't quite conceal. About Sarah, about what you're really asking me to do. Victoria removes her sunglasses, revealing exhaustion that goes beyond physical fatigue. I'm asking you to help me find justice for my sister. You're asking me to help you commit suicide. Marcus's bluntness cuts through her careful phrasing. Cross has killed before. What makes you think we can expose him without ending up like Sarah? A waiter approaches with coffee, providing a brief interruption that allows both to collect themselves. Victoria adds sugar with mechanical precision, the normalcy of the action contrasting with their extraordinary conversation. Because I have something Cross doesn't know I have. Victoria reaches into her purse, producing a small flash drive. Sarah didn't just discover Cross's illegal activities. She documented them. Banking records, shell companies, bribery payments, everything. Marcus stares at the innocuous device that apparently contains enough evidence to destroy a billionaire. Whereas it's been for 3 years. Sarah hid it, left me a coded message about where to find it if anything happened to her. Victoria's voice catches. I was too focused on building my empire to pay attention to her warnings. By the time I decoded her message, Cross had already made his move against Sterling Enterprises. The weight of survivors' guilt hangs between them like a fog. Marcus sees past Victoria's ruthless exterior to the sister who failed to save her sibling, now desperate to make amends. What's on the drive? Victoria glances around the cafe before answering. Proof that Cross Industries have been laundering money for international criminal organizations, arms dealers, human traffickers, drug cartels, anyone willing to pay premium rates for financial invisibility. The revelation strikes Marcus like a physical blow. Corporate warfare has evolved into something far more sinister than hostile takeovers and stock manipulation. You're not just fighting for your company. You're fighting the entire criminal underworld. Sarah died trying to expose this network. If I don't finish what she started, her death means nothing. Victoria's voice carries fierce determination, mixed with desperation. But I can't do it alone. Cross has people everywhere. Police, judges, politicians. I need someone he doesn't know about, someone invisible. Marcus understands now why Victoria chose him specifically. His invisibility isn't just an asset. It's his only protection against enemies who eliminate threats with systematic efficiency. What's the plan? Victoria pulls out a tablet, showing Marcus a detailed schematic of Cross Industries' headquarters. Tomorrow night, Cross is hosting a private auction for potential investors. Very exclusive, very illegal. The kind of people who don't appear on any legitimate guest list. And we're going to crash this party. We're going to attend as invited guests. Cross wants me vulnerable and desperate. He's expecting me to make a foolish move. Victoria's smile is sharp as a blade. He won't expect me to walk into his stronghold with evidence of his crimes. Marcus studies the building plans, noting security checkpoints and camera positions marked in red. This looks like a fortress. How do we get inside without being detected? Cross sent me an invitation yesterday. A final insult. He wants me to witness his victory celebration before he destroys everything I built. Victoria's anger burns cold and controlled. We'll attend as a happy couple, plant the evidence where his own security systems were recorded, then leave before anyone realizes what happened. The plan sounds simultaneously brilliant and suicidal. Marcus traces the building's layout with his finger, mapping escape routes and potential complications. What happens after we expose him? Cross goes to prison. His criminal network collapses. Sterling Enterprises survives. Victoria pauses, studying Marcus's face. And you get your architecture firm free and clear. No more pretending, no more danger. Marcus sets down his coffee, the decision crystallizing in his mind. What happens if we fail? Victoria's honesty is brutal. We disappear. Permanently. The office has been transformed into a war room. Building plans cover every surface, while surveillance equipment gleams on Victoria's desk. Marcus marvels at the resources she's assembled in a matter of hours. Military-grade communication devices, electronic countermeasures, even what appears to be body armor disguised as formal wear. Where did you get all this? I have friends in industries that don't ask questions. Victoria's evasiveness suggests connections Marcus doesn't want to explore. The important thing is that we'll be protected. Marcus examines a tiny camera designed to look like a cufflink. You've been planning this for a while, since the day Sarah died. Victoria's admission carries 3 years of suppressed rage. I've been building Sterling Enterprises into something powerful enough to take down Cross. Every contract, every acquisition, every dollar earned. It was all leading to tomorrow night. The revelation reframes everything Marcus thought he understood about Victoria. Her empire isn't just business success. It's an elaborate weapon constructed for a single purpose. Why didn't you do this alone? Victoria's composure cracks, revealing the loneliness that drove her to commandeer his dinner table. Because I'm tired of fighting alone. Because Sarah deserved better than a sister too proud to ask for help. Her vulnerability strips away the last of Marcus's reservations. This isn't about corporate warfare or financial gain. It's about justice for a woman who died trying to do the right thing. I'm in, all the way. Victoria nods, her relief palpable. Then we need to prepare for war. The building rises like a monolith against the evening sky, its surface gleaming with wealth earned through blood money. Luxury cars discharge passengers at the entrance, while private security guards maintain careful watch over proceedings. Marcus adjusts his bow tie, the hidden camera feeling heavy against his chest. Victoria emerges from her limousine like a queen attending her own execution, regal, defiant, and absolutely terrifying in her beauty. Remember, we're here to celebrate Cross's triumph. Smile, laugh. Play the part of the defeated rival, accepting her fate gracefully. Victoria's instructions are whispered as they approach the entrance. Security guard, Mrs. Sterling, Mr. Cross is expecting you. The greeting confirms what Marcus suspected. This invitation was always a trap. Cross wants Victoria here, wants her to witness his moment of complete victory before delivering the final blow. The room exudes old money sophistication while hosting new money criminals. Men in expensive suits discuss murder like quarterly earnings while their companions, beautiful, silent, and undoubtedly terrified, smile on command. Cross holds court at the head of a massive table, his presence commanding attention through sheer malevolence. He spots Victoria and Marcus immediately, his smile predatory as a shark sensing blood. Victoria, my dear, you look absolutely stunning. Defeat suits you. Cross rises, arms spread in mock welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Victoria Sterling, soon to be former CEO of Sterling Enterprises. Polite applause ripples through the room, while Victoria maintains a performance of gracious dignity. Marcus feels a weight of hostile attention, understanding that everyone present knows exactly why they're here. Jonathan, you certainly know how to throw a memorable party. Victoria's voice carries just enough edge to suggest wounded pride without revealing her true purpose. Cross escorts them to seats at his right hand, positions of honor that feel more like execution chairs. As dinner is served, conversation flows around topics of legitimate business, ventures masking criminal enterprises. Marcus listens with growing horror as deals are discussed with clinical detachment. Human lives reduced to profit margins, suffering quantified in quarterly reports. This is the world Sarah Sterling died trying to expose. During the meal, Victoria signals Marcus with subtle hand gestures, their rehearsed communication system indicating that security cameras are positioned exactly as expected. The evidence they need to plant will be perfectly captured by Cross's own surveillance network. Tell me, Marcus. Cross addresses him directly for the first time. What do you think of my little gathering? The question feels loaded with menace. Marcus swallows carefully before responding. It's certainly educational. Cross's laugh is genuinely amused. Indeed, education is so important, don't you think? Learning one's place in the world, understanding the natural order of things. Some people never learn. Victoria interjects smoothly. They keep fighting battles they cannot win. Precisely. Cross raises his wine glass in a mock toast to accepting reality, no matter how painful. As glasses are raised around the table, Marcus realizes they're toasting Victoria's defeat and possibly their deaths. The performance they're maintaining becomes more crucial with each passing moment. Cross stands, commanding attention. My friends, tonight marks the end of an era and the beginning of another. Sterling Enterprises will soon become part of the Cross Industries family, expanding our reach into new markets and opportunities. Victoria's hand finds Marcus's beneath the table, her grip tight enough to leave marks. This is the moment they've been preparing for. Cross's public declaration of victory that will be recorded by every camera in the room. Marcus slips the flash drive from his pocket, palming it with magician-like dexterity. In 15 seconds, he needs to plant it beneath Cross's chair, where security footage will show it being discovered during the inevitable investigation. Of course, Cross continues, some transitions require difficult decisions. Victoria, my dear, I'm afraid your usefulness has come to an end. The room falls silent. Even the servers stop moving, sensing the shift from celebration to execution. Victoria rises slowly, dignity intact despite the death sentence. I suppose this is goodbye then. I'm afraid so. Cross's smile is genuinely regretful. You fought well, but the game was rigged from the beginning. Marcus drops the flash drive, his movement casual as he retrieves his fallen napkin. The device slides perfectly into position beneath Cross's chair, invisible to human eyes but clearly captured by overhead cameras. Shall we go, darling? Victoria's voice carries just enough tremor to suggest fear while masking triumph. As they turn to leave, Cross's voice stops them. Oh, Victoria, give my regards to Sarah. The casual cruelty freezes Victoria in place. For a moment, her mask slips completely, revealing pure hatred that can melt steel. I'll be sure to tell her justice is coming. The evidence is planted, but their night is far from over. Cross has just revealed the depth of his cruelty, and Victoria's quest for justice is about to become a fight for survival. With enemies on all sides and nowhere left to run, can two people pretending to be married find the courage to be real heroes? If you discovered that the person you were helping had enemies willing to kill, would you keep standing by them or run for your life? Let us know what you do in the comments. The limousine pulls away from the building's entrance, carrying Marcus and Victoria into the darkness beyond. Through tinted windows, the gleaming tower recedes like a monument to corruption they've just infiltrated. Neither speaks for several blocks, the weight of what they've accomplished, and what comes next, settling over them like a shroud. Victoria finally breaks the silence, her voice barely above a whisper. It's done. In 48 hours, when the FBI raids his offices, they'll find everything Sarah documented. Cross's empire will crumble. Marcus studies her profile in the passing streetlights. Despite their success, Victoria appears more vulnerable than triumphant, as if the completion of her 3-year mission has left her hollow rather than satisfied. What happens to us now? You disappear. New identity, relocation, the architecture firm in another city. Victoria's response is clinical, predetermined. I stand trial as a witness, testify against Cross, then rebuild what's left of my life. The plan sounds reasonable, logical, safe. It also sounds like another performance. Two strangers returning to their separate existences, as if the past weeks never happened. Marcus's phone buzzes. The caller ID shows an unknown number, but something compels him to answer. Marcus Hayes? The voice is electronically distorted, mechanical, and threatening. You have something that belongs to Mr. Cross. Ice flows through Marcus's veins. Beside him, Victoria's face goes ashen as she realizes their evening's victory may have been premature. I'm sorry, you have a wrong number. The flash drive, Mr. Hayes. You planted it, but we retrieved it before your little evidence could do any damage. The caller's amusement is audible even through the electronic filter. Mr. Cross would like to invite you both back for a more intimate conversation. Marcus looks at Victoria, seeing his own horror reflected in her expression. Their perfect plan has collapsed, leaving them exposed and defenseless. And if we decline? Mrs. Sterling's penthouse apartment at 1247. Park Avenue is quite lovely. 20th floor, panoramic city views. It would be tragic if something happened to such a beautiful home. The threat hangs in the air like poison gas. You have 1 hour. The line goes dead. Marcus and Victoria stare at each other, processing the magnitude of their failure and the immediacy of their danger. Victoria, how did they know? Marcus replays the evening's events, searching for the moment their plan went wrong. Cross knew we were coming. He's known all along. The realization strikes them simultaneously. They weren't infiltrating Cross's operation. They were walking into an elaborate trap designed to eliminate the final threats to his empire. Marcus, your penthouse, is compromised. Has been for weeks, probably. Victoria's voice carries the flatness of complete defeat. Cross lets us play our little game because it amused him. Now he's ready to end it permanently. The building stands empty except for security guards who've been paid to look the other way. Victoria's office, once a symbol of power and achievement, now feels like a mausoleum for failed ambitions. Marcus watches Victoria methodically destroy sensitive documents, her movements mechanical and defeated. There has to be another way. Cross owns judges, police commissioners, federal agents. Sarah thought she could expose the truth through proper channels. Victoria feeds another document into the shredder. We know how that ended. So we just give up? Let him win. Victoria stops shredding, her hands trembling with suppressed emotion. I've been fighting him for 3 years, Marcus. I've sacrificed everything, my company, my reputation, any chance at a normal life. And for what? He's still untouchable. Marcus moves to the window, gazing down at the city lights that seem to mock their predicament with their indifferent beauty. Sarah didn't give up. Sarah died. Victoria's composure finally shatters. 3 years of grief and rage exploding like a dam burst. She died because she believed justice could triumph over money and power. She died because I was too selfish to listen to her warnings. Tears streamed down Victoria's face, washing away the mass of strength she's worn for so long. Marcus sees her fully for the first time. Not the ruthless executive or desperate conspirator, but a woman destroyed by loss and guilt. She died because she was brave enough to try. Marcus's voice is gentle but firm. And you spent 3 years trying to finish what she started. That's not selfishness, that's love. Victoria looks up at him, her eyes red with tears and exhaustion. Love doesn't stop bullets, Marcus. No, but it gives us reasons to face them. The moment stretches between them, heavy with unspoken truths. Their fake marriage has become something neither expected. A partnership forged in crisis, strengthened by shared danger, and now tested by the prospect of mutual destruction. Victoria's desk phone rings, shattering the silence. The caller ID shows Cross Industries. He's early, Victoria whispers. Marcus reaches for the phone before Victoria can stop him. Cross. Mr. Hayes, I do appreciate punctuality, even when it's ahead of schedule. Cross's voice carries smug satisfaction. I trust you had time to consider your limited options. What do you want? Justice, ironically enough. You and Mrs. Sterling have caused considerable inconvenience to my business operations. That requires compensation. Marcus puts the phone on speaker, so Victoria can hear. What kind of compensation? Your lives, of course. But I'm not unreasonable. I'm prepared to offer you a choice in how they end. Cross pauses, savoring his moment of complete control. You can come to me willingly, and I'll make it quick. Or you can run, and I'll make it educational. Victoria grabs the phone. Let me talk to you directly, Jonathan. Ah, Victoria. I was wondering when the real woman would emerge from behind her husband's shadow. Cross's mockery cuts deep. Tell me, my dear, was any of your marriage genuine? Or was poor Marcus simply another tool to be discarded when his usefulness ended? The question strikes at the heart of their deception, but also reveals something neither has been willing to acknowledge. Their pretend relationship has evolved into something real. Marcus is twice the man you'll ever be. Victoria's defense surprises them both with its vehemence. And unlike you, he doesn't need to murder women to feel powerful. Your sister was a romantic, believing truth could overcome corruption. You're a pragmatist who understands that power determines truth. Cross's voice turns deadly serious. Which version of the Sterling legacy will Marcus represent when he dies beside you? The line goes dead, leaving them alone with the weight of their impossible situation. Victoria, he's right about one thing. I've been using you. The marriage, the partnership, even bringing you into this fight. It was all manipulation. Was it? Marcus moves closer, his voice gentle. Because somewhere along the way, it stopped feeling like pretend. Victoria meets his eyes, seeing honesty that cuts through her defenses. For me, too. The admission hangs between them like a bridge across an abyss. Their fake marriage had become real in every way that matters, forged not in romance, but in shared purpose and mutual respect. Then let's stop pretending and start fighting. Marcus moves to Victoria's computer, his architectural training suddenly relevant in an unexpected way. Cross is building. I memorize the blueprints. There's a structural weakness he doesn't know about. Victoria joins him at the screen as Marcus pulls up building schematics. The foundation was reinforced in 2018, but they cut corners on the support columns. A precisely placed explosive charge could bring down the entire executive floors. You're talking about destroying a 50-story building. I'm talking about destroying Cross's command center while everyone else evacuates safely. Marcus's finger traces structural weak points on the schematic. We can't fight his army, but we can eliminate his ability to command it. Victoria stares at the building plans, seeing not destruction but liberation. Sarah's evidence is backed up on servers throughout the building. If we broadcast it during the collapse, the whole world sees Cross's crimes as his empire literally crumbles around him. Marcus completes her thought. He can't buy his way out of that kind of exposure. The plan is audacious, dangerous, and their only remaining chance for justice. Victoria looks at Marcus, seeing not the invisible man she recruited, but a partner worthy of her trust. This isn't your fight anymore, Marcus. You could still run. Start over somewhere safe. Marcus takes her hands, his decision already made. I'm not running for my wife. The word hangs between them. Not pretend, not performance, but truth acknowledged at the moment when it matters most. The building blazes with light as Cross's criminal network gathers for what they believe will be a celebration of Victoria Sterling's defeat. Security teams patrol the perimeter, while luxury cars continue delivering guests to what will become their final party. From a rooftop across the street, Marcus and Victoria observe through high-power binoculars. They've traded their formal wear for tactical gear that transforms them from corporate players into urban warriors. Charges are set on the 42nd through 45th floors, Victoria reports, consulting a tablet displaying building schematics. Sarah's evidence will broadcast from every screen in the city when the servers detect structural collapse. Marcus adjusts his earpiece, testing their communication link. Emergency services are standing by. Anonymous tip about a gas leak will evacuate the lower floors. The plan unfolds through precision born of desperation. They have one chance to bring down Cross's empire and survive the night. Marcus. Victoria's voice carries uncharacteristic vulnerability. If we don't make it out, we will. His certainty surprises them both. We're not pretending anymore. Victoria, we're fighting for something real. She nods, drawing strength from his conviction. Then let's finish this. The elevator shaft provides access to Cross's executive floors while avoiding security checkpoints. Marcus and Victoria climb with silent efficiency, their movements coordinated through weeks of preparation that suddenly feel inadequate for the magnitude of what they're attempting. At the 40th floor, they pause to catch their breath. Above them, Cross holds court with criminals and killers, unaware that justice is climbing toward him one floor at a time. Once we trigger the charges, we have 90 seconds to reach the roof before the building becomes unstable, Victoria whispers. And Cross will have the same 90 seconds to realize his empire is ending. They resume climbing, each floor bringing them closer to a confrontation that will determine not just their survival, but the fate of everyone Cross has victimized. The executive floor buzzes with criminal activity disguised as legitimate business. Through glass conference room walls, Marcus and Victoria can see Cross addressing his assembled network, his gesture suggesting complete confidence in his dominion. Victoria activates the building's fire suppression system, triggering alarms that begin evacuating the lower floors. In the confusion of emergency procedures, they move through service corridors toward Cross's private office. Servers are uploading Sarah's evidence to every major news network, Victoria reports, monitoring her tablet. In 3 minutes, the whole world will know what Cross Industries really does. They reach Cross's office door. Beyond the heavyweight lies the man who murdered Sarah Sterling and destroyed countless other lives in pursuit of wealth and power. Marcus places his hand on the door handle, then pauses. Together? Victoria nods, her expression resolute. Together? They enter Cross's office like avenging angels, their presence transforming his sanctuary into a courtroom where justice will finally be served. Jonathan Cross sits behind his massive desk, completely unsurprised by their arrival. His smile suggests he's been waiting for this moment with eager anticipation. Victoria, Marcus, right on time. Cross doesn't move from his chair, his confidence suggesting hidden advantages they haven't considered. I was beginning to think you'd lost your nerve. The evidence is already uploading, Jonathan. In 2 minutes, every law enforcement agency in the world will have proof of your crimes. Victoria's voice carries righteous fury tempered by tactical awareness. Cross laughs, the sound echoing off glass walls that offer panoramic views of the city he's controlled through fear and corruption. My dear Victoria, did you really think I'd allow you to plant evidence in my own building without taking precautions? He activated a device on his desk, and suddenly the building's elevators lock down, emergency exit seals shut, and the fire suppression system switches from evacuation mode to containment protocol. Welcome to your tomb. The trap is sprung, and our heroes find themselves facing their greatest enemy with no escape route. But sometimes, the most dangerous predators underestimate the power of two people who have finally stopped pretending and started fighting for something real. Would you risk your life for someone you were only supposed to be pretending with? The final confrontation is about to begin, and everything depends on what Marcus and Victoria are willing to sacrifice for each other. The office transforms into a trap as steel shutters slam down over the windows and emergency locks engage with mechanical finality. Cross Industries' advanced security system, designed to protect wealth and secrets, now serves as an execution chamber. Cross rises from his desk with predatory satisfaction, his movement revealing the pistol he's kept concealed. Sarah Sterling stood in this very office 3 years ago, making the same self-righteous speeches about justice and truth. Marcus steps protectively in front of Victoria, his body becoming a shield between her and Cross's weapon. The gesture is instinctive, born from emotions that have evolved far beyond their original deception. She begged for her life at the end. Cross continues, savoring the cruelty of his revelation. Promise me anything, everything, if I would just let her live long enough to see her sister again. Victoria's composure cracks, grief and rage warring across her features. You bastard. I gave her a choice, her life or her evidence. She chose nobility over survival. Cross's smile is genuinely reminiscent. I wonder what choice you'll make. The tablet in Victoria's hands shows Sarah's evidence continuing to upload despite Cross's containment protocols. 30 seconds remain before the world discovers the truth about Cross Industries' criminal empire. The upload can't be stopped, Jonathan. Even if you kill us, the evidence will reach every news network simultaneously. Cross checks his watch with casual indifference. 27 seconds. Time enough for last words. Marcus scans the office, his architectural training revealing structural details invisible to others. The steel shutters, designed to protect against external threats, have created internal vulnerabilities. The office's weight distribution has shifted beyond original specifications. Victoria, the charges you set, can they be triggered manually? She understands immediately, her tactical mind calculating the same structural weaknesses Marcus has identified. Remote detonator. But we're too close to the blast radius. Not if we use Cross's private elevator. Marcus points to a concealed door behind Cross's desk. Executive escape route. It leads directly to the helicopter pad. Cross follows their gaze, realizing his own emergency exit has become their salvation. Clever, but you'll never reach it alive. The tablet emits a soft chime. Sarah Sterling's evidence has successfully uploaded to every major news network. Within hours, Cross's criminal empire will be exposed to global scrutiny. Victoria's expression transforms, grief replaced by fierce determination. Sarah, this is for you. She triggers the detonator. The building shutters as precisely placed explosives detonate in sequence, their destruction calculated to bring down Cross's command center while preserving structural integrity for evacuation. Through the sealed windows, Marcus sees news helicopters converging on the building, drawn by a report of evidence that will reshape international criminal prosecutions. Cross raises his weapon, but the building's violent tremor throws off his aim. Marcus tackles him as Victoria sprints toward the concealed elevator, her movements desperate and determined. Marcus and Cross struggle for control of the weapon as the office floor tilts at impossible angles. Furniture slides toward the weakening external wall, while ceiling tiles rain down like deadly confetti. You've destroyed everything. Cross's composure finally shatters, revealing the monster beneath his civilized facade. 20 years of building this empire. 20 years of murder and corruption. Marcus's response is steady despite the chaos around them. It ends the night. The gun discharges, its report deafening in confined space. For a moment, both men freeze, uncertain who has been hit. Marcus feels warmth spreading across his shoulder, wounded but functional. Cross's expression shifts from triumph to disbelief as he realizes the bullet has passed through Marcus and lodged in the building's main support beam. The structural damage proves critical. The support beam cracks with a sound like thunder, and the entire executive floor begins collapsing toward the street. Marcus. Victoria's voice cuts through the destruction from the elevator entrance. Now! Marcus releases Cross and sprints toward salvation as the office floor gives way completely. Behind him, Cross's screams are lost in the symphony of collapsing steel and concrete. The private elevator shoots toward the roof as the building shutters around them. Victoria tends to Marcus's shoulder wound with efficient field medicine, her training from sources she's never revealed proving invaluable. The whole executive section is gone, she reports, monitoring building schematics on her tablet. Cross is buried under 50 tons of rubble. Marcus winces as Victoria applies pressure to his wound. And the evidence? Broadcasting on every major network. Sarah's files are already trending on social media. Victoria's voice carries exhausted triumph. It's over, Marcus. We won. The elevator reaches a helicopter pad as emergency vehicles surround the building below. News crews document the collapse across industries, both literally and figuratively. Their cameras capturing the moment when justice finally caught up with institutional corruption. The city spread below them like a circuit board of lights, beautiful and indifferent to the human drama that has just concluded. Marcus and Victoria stand together, their fake marriage having evolved into something neither planned but both desperately needed. The FBI will want statements, testimony, everything we can provide about Cross's network, Victoria says, her practical mind already shifting toward the legal battles ahead. But the worst is over. Marcus looks at the woman who transformed his life through desperate necessity and shared purpose. What happens to us now? Victoria meets his eyes, seeing not the invisible man she recruited, but the partner who saved her life and helped her find justice for Sarah. I don't know. We've never tried being real with each other. Maybe it's time we learned. Their kiss is gentle, tentative, and completely authentic. The first moment of genuine intimacy in a relationship built on deception but tempered by shared courage. Emergency helicopters arrive to evacuate them to safety, but for once, neither feels a need to perform or pretend. They are simply two people who found each other in the darkness and chose to fight their way toward the light. The building bears new signage, Sterling Hayes Architectural Consortium. Through glass windows, employees can be seen working on sustainable housing projects that represent Marcus's long-deferred dreams finally made manifest. The office reflects its owner's vision, Architectural drawings cover the walls, while scale models of innovative housing developments occupy every available surface. Marcus, his arm still in a sling from his encounter with Cross, reviews plans with the focused intensity of a man finally doing work he loves. Victoria enters carrying 2 cups of coffee, her presence casual and comfortable in a way that suggests genuine partnership rather than performance. The Singapore project was approved, she announces, setting coffee on his desk. They want to break ground on the sustainable housing complex next spring. Marcus looks up from his drawings, his smile carrying contentment that has nothing to do with success and everything to do with finding his purpose. Sarah would have loved this project. Architecture serving communities rather than profit margins. She would have loved seeing you happy. Victoria's observation carries warmth tinged with lingering grief. She always believed people deserve second chances. Their conversation is interrupted by a knock on the door. Detective Rivera, 45, enters, her expression suggesting news both important and long-awaited. Cross's trial starts next week. The prosecution wants to confirm your testimony schedules. Victoria nods, her resolve unwavering despite the emotional cost of reliving their confrontation. We'll be there. Good, because your evidence has blown apart the biggest criminal network we've ever investigated. 17 countries are filing charges based on Sarah Sterling's documentation. Rivera's admiration is evident. You two accomplished something law enforcement couldn't do in 20 years. After Rivera leaves, Marcus and Victoria stand together at the office window. Looking down at the city they help make safer through their courage and partnership. Any regrets? Victoria asks. Marcus considers the question seriously. 6 months ago, he was an invisible man eating dinner alone, his dreams abandoned and his future uncertain. Tonight, he'll go home to a woman who chose him not for deception but for truth, to work that serves his values, to a life that finally feels authentic. Only one, he says finally. Victoria's expression grows concerned. What's that? Marcus turns to face her, his expression serious. I regret that it took a fake marriage to find real love. Victoria's laughter fills the office like music, bright and genuine and completely free of performance. Then maybe it's time we made it official. Are you proposing to me, Mrs. Sterling? I'm proposing to you, Mr. Hayes. No pretending this time. Their kiss is witnessed only by the city sprawling below them, indifferent to human drama, but somehow blessed by the presence of 2 people who learn that the most authentic relationships can grow from the most desperate circumstances. From a lonely man at a dinner table to a man with family, love, and courage, Marcus's life has been completely transformed. Sometimes the most unlikely partnerships become the strongest foundations. Sometimes pretending leads to truth. And sometimes all it takes to change everything is a whisper. Pretend I'm your wife. Do you believe love can be born from the most unexpected circumstances? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary.